Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. Today we will be talking about the finals of the Women's World Cup. It's been a long tournament, but at the end we're in here and we have Australia playing England. That is going to be the game that the finals that everyone's been waiting for. Australia have started off brilliantly and have continued their good form. England start somewhat slow start, but I think they picked it up pretty well and they obviously are the deserved finalists over here. Musti, your thoughts on the game and your kind of way you think you expect the game to be played out tomorrow.
I mean, I'm really excited for this finals because I've been following this tournament from the beginning, and it's been a very enjoyable tournament. We've seen some really good matches. Yeah, unfortunately, for us Indian supporters, they haven't qualified for the finals, but it's been very good quality of cricket. We've seen some close matches. We've seen some excellent batting, excellent bowling, and it's been,
Fielding,
fielding as well. Deandra
some
Doughton
good
comes
catches. Yeah.
yeah when it comes to fielding, and I think it's been amazing tournament. I hope we see a full ground today. I think that's one thing that I would hope for, because we saw that in England the host nation is not playing, so I don't know how it's going to be, but it's a Sunday there in New Zealand, and hopefully we get to see the crowds coming in. But yeah, how I see this match, I think two teams. One team is a machine. It's Australia of 90s when it comes to the men's team. That's exactly how it was. We're seeing that with the women's team now. Extremely well led by Meg Lanning. She's the Ricky Ponting of this side. Excellent captain, shrewd captain, and batting unbelievable. Whether it's scoring hundreds under a chase or useful 80s, 90s chasing, she's setting a score or chasing. Actually, I feel that Meg Lanning is someone, when there is pressure on her, she performs, and when the situation is like already 200 for one, like she doesn't really think. But she's excellent as a batsman and as a captain. Then you have Rachel Hinds and Elisa Healy providing you that start. Beth Mooney coming in, providing that finish. With the ball, they don't have Elisa Perry, but everybody's coming in, chipping in. Talia McGrath as well chipping in. Sutherland as well. She's been chipping in the ball. This unit is high quality. Despite missing their best bowler, they're still winning games. And but if I look at this game in isolation, I just like to back the England team, just because I feel teams who've already lost, they have less to lose. I think there's not as much fear, and this England team is the closest that has taken Australia to a defeat. Right? They were chasing 310 and they made 290 odd, so they were close to that Australian target. And if I would just like to be in the England circle, I just feel that, yeah, okay, fine, if you lose, you lose to the best side, but
Yeah.
if you win, then it's history. And losing your first three games and turning things around, I think outstanding. If you just look at England's team, Eccleston comes to mind, number one, like the leading wicket taker. She picked a six for in the semi-final. Excellent bowling, left-arm spinner, is really causing problems. And I think she's been the difference for England, because England normally have the fast bowling, but spinners is where they lack. But she's really covered that kind of gap over there. Then you had Daniel White in the last game. I think she was a bit lucky at times, but she made the most of it. Excellent batting. Boma has been really good opening. Nat Skiver at times has picked up. Heather Knight hasn't really performed, but I think for England, it's been more of the bowling, the likes of Shobzol, Catherine Brunt, Kate Cross, and Eccleston. The bowling has been outstanding, and they've really managed to keep teams at a under par score. And the batting just about comes and does it. But yeah, if you look at both sides batting wise, Australia, I think bowling is more 50-50.
Yeah, I think Australia will only be worried about not having a bad day in the office because they haven't had one. To be very honest, they won everything that they played against, and we saw when in the T20 World Cup as well, Pakistan was outright favorites through the group stages, and they have won somewhat of a bad session, and they
Yeah.
lost the game completely. So that would be the only thing that will be playing in Australia's mind, because England's been there, done that. They've gone past it. So they're the team with a little bit more momentum, so to say. So that'll be probably Australia's nemesis at this point.
Yeah, exactly. That's what exactly you hit the nail on the head. I just feel that you haven't lost a game. I think it's still a very professional unit. It's still going to be very difficult. But one freak innings, you saw what Harmanpreet Kaur did to Australia. They were favorites in 2017 as well, and she chased that target down. She completely took the game out of their hands, right? And if you look at England, if somebody like a Nat Skiver can play that kind of innings, or even a Wyatt or Beaumont at the start, then it puts pressure on Australia. So it's about sometimes it's individual brilliance can take a cup away from you. You can play amazing as a team, and then one person from the opposition comes and just ruins your day. And that's one thing that Australia will be wary of. And Australia are also a very professional unit. They've covered a lot of uh, tracks in this World Cup. They've really played professionally, and they've been outstanding. So they won't take it lightly. It won't be easy to beat them. But from England's point of view, just like the best case scenario, you always have to sniff, right? You always have to look where you can find the victory from, and there are options. With Elisa Piri not there, I think they could put pressure on that bowling lineup. Batting wise, I think they need to pick up early wickets, and Meg Lanning will be that key wicket. Ali Sahili as well. If you can get the top three early, then Ecclestone can come in the middle overs and really trap Australia. How do you? The thing with Australia is that they score runs even if they lose wickets. So you get the top three, but then you have a Beth Mooney coming in as well. So how do you stop that? Talia McGrath comes and hits. So how do you stop the flow of runs? That's something that England will have to look at, and I think they will have set plans. They will also, they have Ecclestone there. They have some good fast bowling, and just the field placements and stuff needs to be a bit more on point against Australia.
Nice. Yep, absolutely. I think you're one player to watch out from each team.
One player to watch out from each team. From England, I'm gonna go a bit different. I'm gonna go Kate Cross from England. I just feel like she's an experienced player. She's bowled really well this tournament, gone under the radar. But if you see her over, she comes in the middle over, she does a job. And against Australia, it's going to be very important, those middle over periods where you keep it tight, you keep taking wickets, and you don't let the runs flow. So I think Kate Cross for me is the player to watch out for from England. And from Australia, I'm going Talia McGrath. Again, I think she can provide both with ball and bat. And she had an outstanding series against England in the women's Ashes ahead of the World Cup, just before. I think it was right after the men's Ashes. So I think she was outstanding in that against England. So I think she's a player to watch out for. I'm going a bit differential, but star players, Meg Lanning, Ecclestone, these guys are the star players to watch out for, but I'm going a bit differential.
I think that's a good shout. Both pretty solid players to look out for. I'm a big fan of the surname of McGrath. So she's living it up. So
yeah.
back from the Glenn McGrath days, obviously. So hopefully that kind of plays out in their favor. But your prediction before we wrap this up.
Mind says Australia, heart says England, kind of thing. Like I just like to back underdogs.
You're an underdog person. I know.
You wouldn't want to call England underdogs, but in this
comparatively.
It's the mighty Australia. This is a really good Australian team, but I think that the team who could give them the strongest competition is in the final. Yes, India on their day, they have individual brilliance. South Africa on their day, you have individual brilliance. New Zealand as well, but England is a more complete team. They, they have all bases covered from batting to bowling. The only thing that worries me about England is their batting. So if someone from the top order, like Danny White in the semi-finals, if someone can perform from there, it really eases that pressure. Bowling wise, they will cause problems for Australia. So that's why I'm hoping. But it's going to take a lot to beat this Australian team. Let's hope for a last over kind of match, and let the nerves jangle a bit. And I'm really excited for this game for sure.
Absolutely, 100%. Any last thoughts before we wrap this up here?
I mean, no, like in terms of the overall quality of the tournament, it's been really good. You've been watching it as well. It's been outstanding. I think it's time for a women's IPL to continue women's cricket. We've seen women's 100, we've seen women's Big Bash. I think women's IPL is something that I would personally like to see, because there's a lot of talent there in the women's game. And, right now, they're playing some unbelievable shots. They're bowling some unbelievable deliveries. They're taking some great catches. And I think it's a good time to keep promoting women's cricket. And you see the talent is growing now as well from all nations. Bangladesh also had a good tournament as well, right? You saw some very good players there as well. Pakistan as well had a few talented players who did well. So I think it's just about promoting this tournament and promoting women's cricket as much as possible. And now I don't see much of a difference, right? When I'm watching it, I'm looking at it as a cricket game. I'm not looking woman, man, or anything like that. It's a high quality game, and hopefully this finals can be it can be an example for generations to come. And that's what we want to hope to see, because we saw that in 2020 when India played Australia in the T20 World Cup final. it was a packed MCG, and that kind of really changed, cricket. And I think again, this World Cup can do that because we've seen some great games.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks interesting because there's a lot of franchises and individuals that are interested in the women's game and the women's IPL in
Yeah.
buying the franchises and stuff like that. So there is some hope for the women's IPL that probably sooner rather than later. So that's something to look forward to as well. But I think that wraps it up.
Before you wrap it
Hoping,
up,
yes.
I had some question for you. Who do you think is going to win today?
Uh,
I'm not going to let you
it's
get
such a
away with
hard
it.
one. I think Australia will do a clean sweep in this one at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I,
your moment of the tournament so far, or like
there's
innings,
been
or
there's been
wicket?
a few. I think the way West Indies have performed,
Hmm.
just their overall their stint that they, you never really write them out. We spoke about them as being kind of dark horses, but to be able to make it to the semifinals and then of course they didn't play that well in the semifinals, but to be able to make it there and then they've had some good ups and downs. I think that their journey has been one which has been pleasing to see.
Yeah, that dot and catch always.
That dot and catch keeps, yeah, and some very good ones. There's a couple of ones. I think one South Africa. I can't remember who it was, but some very good catches. Even in Australia, I think who was it? Was it? I think it was Lanning. Wasn't it Lanning? A one-handed catch right off the
Oh
bat.
yeah, yeah. No, that
Yeah,
wasn't landing. I think it was. I forgot
yeah,
who
I
it
can't
was, but
remember, but some good catches overall.
yeah.
But just overall, I think it's been a good tournament. It's been fun to see. But I think just the I also England after losing the first three games to be able to come back and make the finals is also
That game
pleasing to
against New
see.
Zealand was
Yeah,
crazy,
some good
though.
games. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Some really close, tight games, and the nerves they've kept us on the edge of our seats, which is always nice to see.
absolutely. And also, I think like Shabnam Ismail, she's been really good with the ball. Like she's brought that fire into that tournament. South Africa, I think in general, their fast bowling has been really good. Just unfortunately, they couldn't hold on to their chances in the semis and they choked.
Yeah, they lost
But
way too many. They dropped too many catches.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we saw some good efforts from there. And yeah, we'll do a more detailed analysis hopefully tomorrow after the finals is done. But thank you so much, man, for today. Really hoping for a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right, man. Take
All
care.
right, take care.